What's going on, guys? I know Olympia weekend is over, but we're going to run this free shipping sale for one more day tomorrow. So for Sunday until 11:59 Eastern, we're going to run free shipping US domestically only. No minimum orders. You can order one thing or 10 things, use a standard shipping option, and use code Olympia to get free shipping. To all of you in the rest of the world who've messaged me about, getting free shipping, I apologize that we can't do that for you right now. When we launch Hostile in your country, wherever you are, we will run promotions like this for you, I promise. But since we are a US-based company at this time, this is only a US promotion. So please bear with me. As the company grows, we will get into different countries and we'll run promos wherever we're at. So I appreciate your patience and understanding. Thank you so much. And for everybody in the US, free shipping tomorrow till midnight. Use code Olympia. Thank you very much, guys. What in Olympia? What's going on, guys? This is Real Bodybuilding Podcast, and I'm Fouad Abiad, back to give you guys my wrap-up of the finals of the Mr. Olympia. One, I want to apologize to you guys for not doing the live feed. Like I said, I didn't want to do it by myself, so I thought I would just sit and enjoy the show for once instead of kind of having to work through it. But we'll get back to the commentary stuff with other shows. So I appreciate you guys still supporting me regardless. But listen, back to the show. Awesome show. I love the Olympia. I get so hyped for it. RAMY is like my favorite person. The guy's so happy and so grateful all the time, and I really wanted him to win. After yesterday, I thought he was going to win, and I thought he had Brandon beat. I just think he has too much of everything to overcome, and it proved again to be the case tonight. So RAMY is your Mr. Olympia. I think tonight he came back better. He came back a little drier, and then he actually got drier as finals went on, to the point where he finally came out, he was almost in the same condition he was in last year. He looked very, very good. So to me, RAMY was a convincing winner. And if we're going to talk bodybuilding criteria, he had the most mass. I believe he was balanced. Yes, his legs are a little on the larger side, but I think his shoulders are so wide that he still looks balanced. His conditioning was as good as Brandon's, and I think got better into finals. So I think, if we're talking symmetry, muscularity, and condition, I just think when you put the sum of all three together, he had too much to overcome. Now, some people are saying, well, Hadi was this and Hadi was that. Hadi is incredible. Now, I'm just going to say I'm just going to skip over Brandon for 1 second. Hadi is incredible. And I actually had Hadi in second going in tonight, but they put him in third. Now, when I do these wrap-ups, guys, I'm trying to explain to you kind of what the judges did while giving my own opinion. So judges had him in third, I believe, because of size primarily, because if we're talking about the complete physique, symmetrical, and conditioned, he's definitely more complete than Brandon and definitely more conditioned than Brandon. But the size factor, I think, was just too much. Brandon's just a bigger bodybuilder with nice shape. And I think that is why the judges had Hadi in third. Now, if we take my opinion for whatever it's worth, I would have had Hadi in second. I don't think he had enough to beat RAMY. After all, it is a bodybuilding show. Muscularity is a factor, and RAMY just has too much of it for Hadi to overcome, I believe. So I would have had Hadi in second, but the other thing is it could have been too much ground for him to make up after yesterday. So if I go back to this, when the scorecards come out, I'm going to assume that Hadi was probably in second tonight, but he was probably lower down yesterday. And I think it might have been too much for him to make up. I'm really curious to see where they had him yesterday, because yesterday I had him in fifth behind Nick and Hunter. And I think tonight he moved up. I think he was like second place tonight, but I'm going to guess that the disparity between yesterday and today landed him in third. So Hadi was spectacular. He came back fuller than yesterday and amazing. Brandon, to me, was a little sharper than yesterday, but I didn't see too much of a change. He was really full yesterday. His shape is really good. Obviously, shape's not going to change, but the muscle was really full yesterday. His conditioning was pretty good. He did dry up a little bit today, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think it was enough to overcome RAMY. And I think Hadi, if I'm guessing, I think he was a little bit lower down the scores yesterday. So he didn't have enough to overcome Brandon. So that lands Brandon in second. I think those three placings are pretty fair. I could have seen Nick in third, except for Hadi made such a jump tonight and looked really, really good. But if Nick came in third and Hadi came in fourth or fifth, or fourth, if it was Hadi and then Nick and then Hunter, or if it was Nick and then Hadi and Hunter, I don't know if anybody would have complained. There's a scenario for 3, 4, and 5 to kind of switch places, and I think people wouldn't have been upset. But let's go back to what it was. So, like I said, Hadi I think jumped ahead because he was better tonight. I think when we look at Hunter's just a big guy. And if you guys watched the podcast I did with him earlier, I didn't realize how big Hunter was. He looked bigger to me than Nick, and he looked much bigger than Hadi. His shape is very impressive for a guy that size. He didn't have the conditioning of Nick and Hadi, but I think the size and shape carried him over. And I think that's why he landed in fourth over Nick. I think his shape and size is why they gave it to him over Nick. Now, would I have done that? I don't know. It's really close. Like, I kind of feel like the conditioning could have been a little better yesterday. I had him in fourth yesterday. He could have been in fifth yesterday. He could have been fifth today. That would have been fine. Like I said, I think 3, 4, 5 could have switched places. I think if I'm going to be honest, I would have liked to see it. RAMY, Brandon, I think Hadi, and then Nick, and then Hunter, but shape and muscularity matters too. So Hunter ended up in that fourth spot. Congratulations to Hunter, man. That's really, really huge. The size he carries, the posing routine, just the overall shape of a guy that weighs 255 pounds is so impressive. And I think once he gets that conditioning, I could have seen him, if you imagine Hunter in the same condition as Hadi, I could see Hunter challenging for that top spot because he's a lot bigger than Hadi. And the only thing Hadi is losing to RAMY on is size. So imagine Hunter with Hadi's conditioning. Now it's a toss-up, right? He's anywhere from second to first. He's right in the mix now. So I think the future is very, very bright for Hunter. And Nick is the same. Nick, man, what can I say about Nick? It's like Nick in that fifth spot, first time out. I don't know, what's he, 27 or something like that? It's absolutely mind-blowing that is, for him to walk on and be fifth place. And it's not only because it's fifth place, it's the way he did it. He carries himself with a professionalism that you just don't see that often anymore. He really reminds me of Jay, if you want the truth. And even facially, he kind of reminds me of Jay, but just the way he carries himself, the way he holds his poses, the way he's never relaxed. Like, even when they're not in a mandatory pose, he's still stuck. He's still got his stomach tight, still in a relaxed pose. Very, very professional. And for a guy that is young and still coming up and still learning, he's almost looks like he's a veteran because he's so professional on stage. To me, Nick was the same as yesterday, but yesterday he was 100%. He was better than the Arnolds. He was 100% yesterday. He was 100% again today. I think Nick brought everything he could possibly bring to this. And I think Nick will move up in the rankings. I think it's going to take him just a long off season to fix some areas, build some more muscle so that he can overpower guys with better shape. But yeah, the future for those two guys, for Hunter and Nick, I have a feeling we're going to see a rivalry there for a long time to come, especially if Hunter can nail that conditioning to the same level as Nick. That rivalry is going to be one to watch for the next, 5 to 10 years. So that was really great. I don't know where 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 were. I don't have all the standings in front of me. I just had those 5. So I'm going to go down that line. Ian looked better tonight. Just some notables. Ian looked better tonight. I thought yesterday he was a little flat. People are saying, well, he's watery. I don't think he was watery. I think he just wasn't full. So the muscle wasn't like pushing against the skin as much. And that creates an illusion that he's not in shape. I think he was in shape. Tonight, the muscle was a little bit fuller. And I think it pushed against the skin a little bit more, gave him a better look, and looked like he was more in shape, but I think he was actually just more full. William, I don't know if we're seeing the other side of William's career now. To me, one of the hallmarks, and I've seen it myself, so I can say this, one of the hallmarks of a guy when it starting to get into the later stages of his career is the quads don't have the same flair that they used to have. And William, he looks amazing, although everything is perfectly balanced. Even his quads still look great, but they're not as crazy as they were last year. Now, I don't know if that's age, or maybe he just didn't fill out properly. Maybe it was a flight. Maybe it was just last minute things that were going on. But to me, his quads looked like they were down just a little bit. And I think it just hurt his overall flow. I just didn't feel like he was the same polished Bonac. So I don't know if we're going to see Ian sixth or Bonac sixth, or how that's going to work out. Justin Rodriguez, full as a house. Conditioning is good. The only knocks on Justin Rodriguez that I see is his stomach gets a little washed out when he gets really full. But he's got a crazy physique, crazy wide shoulders, like very, flaring quads. He was in condition, glutes were in, everything looked good, very wide back. Another notable, I just want to mention James, he's a friend of mine. James did come back more full tonight, but I just think when, if you miss a peak, it's hard to correct it. And I think that's what happened. I think James, if I had to guess, and I'm sure, I'll get James on the podcast and we'll discuss, but I think James maybe got ready a little early, and maybe his body kind of, when you get ready too early for a show, sometimes your body can speed up and start to burn through food really quickly, and it makes you flat, makes the muscle flatter than it should be. And when you're eating, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you're eating, the body can't catch back up. And I feel like James maybe missed his peak a little bit. It was a little flat yesterday. Today he filled back up. He looked a little bit more full, but sometimes when you make that correction, you still don't get that same polished look as when you land it perfectly the first time in. So unfortunately for James, these things happen at shows, but I'm sure he'll be back. He's mentally strong and will come back to fight. I think that's most of the notables. I just want to touch on the classic division. Congratulations to Chris Bumstead. What do you say? Like, the guy just exemplifies what classic physique is. I thought Terrence was awesome. Terrence's routine gave me chills. Like, when he did his routine, I was like, that is probably one of the best routines I've ever seen. So Terrence has all of his own great qualities. Physique is amazing, but Chris just has a presence about him on stage, probably maybe because of his height, maybe because of the way his physique is put together, maybe because of the way he carries himself. He really just has that presence about him where he belongs in that spot. Breon, amazing. I thought he was more conditioned. I think Terrence just has a nicer flow to his physique and allows for that more of an artistic style. Breon reminds me still, he's classic, yes, but bodybuilder classic. Whereas when I look at Terrence and Chris, I see artistic classic. It's a different style of physique. I just don't think Breon is in that same category. So he ended up in third. The German kid, I don't remember his name. I think he's like 21. Amazing. So congratulations to him. And then the gentleman from Brazil, to me, looked more like a bodybuilder that just had made weight, but awesome for him for making the top 5. But yeah, classic was really exciting too, man. And it's nice to see that division growing and getting really like a lot of notoriety. Chris is a great representative, man. His speech was bang on. And yeah, so overall, it was a great night, man. I think, there's obviously people's complaints, the lighting or, the commentary sometimes is a little bit, negative and stuff. And it's fine. Overall, when we watched the show, I think all of us were excited to see the show, especially tonight. Hottie coming back better. They did a lot more comparisons. I thought that was really cool. Last night, a lot of people were upset that there's only a few comparisons. Tonight, they did more comparisons. I think everybody got to see what they wanted to see. So I think that was nice too. So overall, I thought it was an awesome Olympia. I know some people are like, oh, that Olympia sucked, but I think those people are always just going to be negative. I love bodybuilding. I always can find a good in any challenges that are up there. I think a lot of good things happened tonight. Ramy proved it wasn't a fluke. I think, Brandon got the challenge again and almost get back that second title. I think Hunter was a dark horse and the surprise of the whole show. Nobody except for Ben, who had behind the scenes knowledge. So I don't know if that counts, but nobody had Hunter in fourth. in predictions that I did. So Hunter was the dark horse of the show, came in flying under the radar and just kind of walked past some people that had beat him already. Nick, first time out, I know people want him to win, and Nick had high expectations to win for himself, but 5th place at the Olympia is, I think people really need to stop and think what 5th place at the Olympia means, because I think sometimes we get lost in it, right? Like, oh, that guy didn't win, he was 9th, or that guy was 12th, or guys, we're talking about the best bodybuilders in the world, right? So 5th place, your first time out, that's a huge accomplishment, right? So anybody who's up there really is a huge accomplishment. Like, you have to be a genetically elite bodybuilder to be on that stage. So congratulations to all the guys. Overall, great show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, I appreciate all you guys' support. And a lot of you have messaged me saying that you wish I was commentating the show. And I have asked, I have made myself available. Those guys are a team, so they function together. I don't know if they want to bring in an outsider to their team, but I'm going to keep doing my thing. And one day, if they give me the call, I am honored to do any commentary at that level, because it's the biggest show in the world, right? So that would be an honor for me to do. But I am actually more honored that you guys even mention me to do that kind of thing. So I appreciate that very much. So anyways, guys, look, thanks for watching. Until next time, live hostile. And until next year's Olympia, train hard, eat right, kick ass. I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.